Okay, this is Dr. Peter and Abby Lazarnik. They were in Scientology through a wise organization, and they're going to kind of share their story with us here on video. So, Pete, why don't you start by telling us how things were before you got involved in Scientology and the Church of Scientology?
Well, things were great, Ed. I was in practice, and we were doing very, very well in practice. We were seeing large volumes of people, having a lot of fun, enjoying ourselves, and making a lot of money at the same time for the service we were delivering. So as far as I was concerned, we had a great practice. Now, we were with a practice management group, and the practice management group definitely helped us, and we were putting away, how much were we putting away per week or per month?
It's about $5,000 a month.
$5,000 a month and stocking away every single month in the bank.
At least. Mm-hmm.
So it was going very, very well. We were happy, the money was accumulating, we were having a great time in practice, the patients were satisfied, and things were going very well. We were on top of the world, I would say.
Great. And then what happened that kind of led you into the Church of Scientology?
Well, the management group we were with, Singer Consultants, which I think David Singer is an excellent consultant. I think he does a great job. They also are connected with the Church of Scientology, and I was introduced to...
Now, let me ask you this before you go on. How do you mean connected with the Church of Scientology?
Well, there is an organization in the church called the WISE organization, or the WISE group, which is, I forget what it stands for, I think it's Worldwide Institute of Scientology Enterprises, something like that. And when you are a marketing group, you can be part of this WISE organization, and that licenses you to teach Hubbard's materials, or the Scientology materials, when it comes to management or self-improvement to a certain degree. And Singer Consultants is part of the Worldwide Institute and Technology Enterprises, Scientology Enterprises. So therefore, they were licensed to utilize Hubbard's data, Hubbard's teaching. And that's how I was introduced to Scientology through the Singer organization, through the Singer Consultants. And basically the way they do that is, I know the way they used to do it, I don't know if they still do it this way, but they would introduce you by having you come out of the room, and they would ask you if you are happy with certain things and how certain things are going in your life, or how certain things are going in the practice. And then they make recommendations based on what you're unhappy with, that certain Scientology services, or certain services that they would provide, specific services they would provide, would be good for you, or help you, in life, help you in the practice, and just help you in general. And then they introduce it that way. It was kind of innocuous, very, well, I wouldn't say covert, but very subtle, how they would introduce that. And I was introduced that way, and then decided that I would like to, I'd like to investigate it some more. And I think it's because of the subtleness of it that it's real interesting that you would kind of want to do it more. So they're not pushing it on you. At one time, I think that they were, and it didn't work very well, so they became much more subtle about bringing your attention to the services that could, Scientology services that could provide you help. They were hooked up with the WISE organization, which is part of the church, and therefore they were able to go ahead and bring it in that way, bring it to you that way. And that's how we started. We started with the Scientology services that way.
So it went from being just a business consulting type of thing to then being more of a personal improvement kind of a thing through the Church of Scientology. Is that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I don't claim that I'm not a victim in any way. In other words, I felt that it was something that I wanted to do, and at the time it was. No doubt about that. It was something that I was very interested in and I wanted to do, and they provided the runway, so to speak, or the lead-in for me to take part in the church services.
Okay.
No doubt about that.
And then after you got involved, then what happened?
Well, it was real interesting. At the beginning, I was in a local organization, the Atlanta organization. Atlanta Org is what they call it, and went there for services. And that seemed to be okay. In other words, I would have services there, and I would come home and I'd feel okay, but nothing mind-boggling at all. Like Abby would say, well, how did it go? And I would say, well, it was fine. And really, I'll keep coming back to this point. When I would do services, it was no more enlightening to me, really, than going to see a good movie, or making me feel as good as seeing a good movie. And I'll keep referring back to that because that's about the most punch I ever got out of any of the services, really.
But we're talking about paying a little bit more than the cost of going to a movie, right?
Yes, unfortunately that's true. Yeah, it costs to go into a movie today, I don't know, $7 or something like that, and those services. I think our clear package that we bought was 20,000 or 22,000 at the local org, and then for Abby's the same thing, was about 20,000 for her clear package too.
It's 20,000 each.
Each, that is correct.
But also, I want to note that when Peter first got involved in Scientology, I did not. It was not something that interested me. I was very concerned about the monies that he was spending. And when we would get call after call, I mean phone call after phone call with these people and wanting to more services and do this and do that, and they would say to me, "Are you a Scientologist?" And I would say, "No." And that was kind of...
She said no.
No. Just to end the conversation, because you could, I mean, we were barraged with calls from various different places, so even though Peter did get involved, I just let him do what he wanted to do, but it was not something, in the beginning, for at least a year, something that I felt that I wanted to participate in.
Really, I should have listened to her, to tell you the truth. I really should have listened to her. But, you know, at the time, I really wanted more. I wanted to be happier, just tell you the truth, and I think that's one of the things, the questions I always ask, are you happy? You know, and how many people are going to say, well, everything's perfect? It wasn't perfect at the time. Of course, things were going well, but I felt
it was better than it was after.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. But you know, I wanted to do more. I wanted to help more. I wanted to be more. I wanted to do a lot more. I wanted to, you know, I wanted my purpose. I wanted to have more, understand my purpose more, and help more people, and do more things, and move into different areas like speaking and training and consulting and things like that. So I felt like doing these services with Scientology would allow me, or would help me, to be better at consulting, be better at coaching, be better at promoting, be better at all these things. So it was kind of, well, let me try this and see how it'll work. And there's always another ring. It's you never reach the point where you finish. There's always something else that keeps coming up. Like once you finish one service, then they promote another service to you. And
Do you have an example of that?
Well, yeah, as far as the way the Scientology quote bridge is set up, you have one side of the bridge, which is auditing, which is about self-improvement and what they call clearing the being. In other words, clearing the being from dissatisfactions, clearing the being from upsets, clearing the being of their reactive mind, so to speak, clearing the being so that they're more functional in life, that they could do more and have more and be more. That's one side of the bridge. Then the other side of the bridge is called the training side of the bridge, where you train in different areas so that you could handle life better. One area that they make sure that you clear up very quickly is if you've had any kind of drugs in the past. And that doesn't mean illegal drugs necessarily. It could mean just environmental things like pesticides, and they want to clear your body out of those things so that you could function better. Well, they make you go through a rigorous detoxification type program with saunas for 4 or 5 hours or 6 hours, and they different type of vitamins and minerals and oils and things like that. So then after you do that, then you would be on either side of the bridge, whether it's auditing or whether it's training. You pick what you want to do, or you do both at the same time.